Oh, hi. Daniel Roebuck here. Oh, you're going to see me on SlasherPepper. Uh, he wanted me to tell you about my credits. Uh, I'm getting carpal tunnel syndrome looking through them on IMDb, which is where you can find my credits on IMDb because there's about 250 of them. So I've been in a lot of stuff, but I took a moment to come and speak to you on the SlasherPepper show, and I'm so excited. My wrist really hurts. It really hurts.
How are you? How are you doing?
Hey, doing great. Excited here in California today. Monster Palooza is this weekend, and if anybody there in Holland or around the world knows, Monster Palooza is like a premier horror convention here in Los Angeles, and it's been down for a few years because of this thing called COVID. Have you guys heard of that? COVID?
Yeah, we did swing around here in Holland too. Yeah.
So we're all excited. I have Creature Kid here today. Creature Kid is a young man named Adam Dougherty. He's staying at the house. He's got a great Kickstarter going now for a project we're doing together. Anyway, life is good. I'm with my family, my friends. It's perfect.
Awesome. Sounds very wonderful. And then my first question was, can you tell us more about Channel of Peace for viewers that might be unaware of it, and maybe some projects that you have going on right now with it?
It's nice of you to ask about that. So, look, I work for the man. Man needs me to do. I do for the man. They need me to play, a creep, a child molester, a murderer, a cop, whatever. I play whatever they need me to play because God gave me a gift. I always joke, people say that guy thinks he's God's gift to the world. But we are, all
Right.
of us are God's gift to the world. So I've taken that to not be an insult. But so I do whatever they ask me to do. I make my own movies. I've been making these that have a faith element. So they're faith-based movies, but they're not like, oh, here's the faith, like beating you with I don't want my faith to be like the clown beat me in the beginning of 31, Rob Zombie.
Right.
I want my faith to kind of float around the air and then go into the brain. I make entertaining movies. The first one we made was called Getting Grace. We didn't make that through the not-for-profit. Now through the not-for-profit, my daughter and I directed a movie called the Lucky Louie, and then we just finished a movie called The Hail Mary. So Lucky Louie's almost done and ready to go out this year, and The Hail Mary will come out next year.
Awesome. I'll definitely put a link in the description to the website and everything, so people that be interested can check it out.
Peace.org, please.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
a movie nut, though, aren't you, Roger? You like movies.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I love them. Ever since a little kid,
Good for you. Do you make movies too?
No, I've made like short films and
That counts.
well, yeah, and I'm starting my own sort of small film company where I'm gonna do wedding movies. I've got my first one planned in 2 weeks, I think.
Oh, good. How many cameras?
One, just me, a one-man job.
Look, always have your phone and another phone tripod, so you always have two cameras, you could just film on your phone. Look, I'm intimately aware of that because my wife used to do that. Her cousin does it. My former editor did it. Everybody thinks it's just like anything, isn't it funny? Everybody thinks, well, I don't need to hire a professional, Roger. I'll give the camera to my brother-in-law. And then, the brother-in-law is trying to pick up the maid of honor and he misses the bouquet toss.
Yep.
So you got to be, that's the thing about a wedding photographer. He's got to be 80 places at once. Anyway, good luck and
Thank
move
you.
up.
Yes, certainly will.
My wife did that, and now she has my movies. So there's always an upward run.
Well, that's definitely the plan for now. Just get some experience with this and then move my way up from there indeed.
Perfect. Good.
Awesome.
Good thinking.
And obviously, you could have seen this coming, but can you tell us anything new about the Munsters?
No. I can't tell you anything new, but I can tell you how excited I am, as you can see.
Yeah, for sure.
I collected on the Munsters my whole life because I don't know this about me, but aside from being this effervescent personality, I'm also an avid collector. I'll put like here's Dr. Zayas, Dr.
Nice.
and here's a gorilla chimp on that.
Oh man, that's awesome.
My collection behind. Oh, I see Dr. Shocker back there. So I've been collecting for a long time, and I'm a huge fan of Universal Monsters.
Awesome.
So what a gift Rob Zombie gave me the day he said, "Do you want to play Grandpa Munster?" Unfortunately,
did you pass out?
Well, I almost did run into a tree. I was driving.
Right.
It blew me away. And it blew me away that, with COVID, shutting us down, not once, but twice, like we really persevered. Thank goodness. Thank God, actually, I should say, because what Rob is going to bring in this Munsters world is going to be extraordinary. And I mean, for a guy who collects toys, now I am one.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah. So life is good and God is good and everything's great. So the Munsters, what do we know? Rob's already told us that Uncle Gilbert's going to be there and Zombo's going to be there and Cousin Lester's going to be there. So you already know, aside from Herman, Lily, Grandpa, that the secondary characters are also also quite wonderful. But then Richard Brake is playing Dr. Wolfgang, and Jorge Garcia is playing Floop, and we've got such great other actors in the movie. Sylvester McCoy as Igor. I mean,
Right.
It's going to be so many wonderful surprises. The movie is going to be extraordinary, fun, silly fun, and PG rated. So we know that too.
Awesome. And like there are so many awesome characters in the movie. Do you know how long it will be estimatedly?
Yeah, somebody put out mistakenly that it's going to be as long as a movie's supposed to be.
Right. Well, that sounds good.
You know what I mean? Once it's interesting. Somebody once asked Frank Darabont, that I'm dropping that name, my friend Darabont, who's just a brilliant, great, and a human par excellence. Like, let's not even talk about the creator he is. Let's talk about the human he is. He's wonderful. But Darabont was once asked about why are your movies 3 hours long, and he said, "Does anybody remember The Godfather?" Now I'm paraphrasing. He essentially said, do you remember any 2-hour movies that you watch again and again? And it's true. Like we put on The Godfather or The Godfather 2 or Apocalypse Now or or Darabont's movies, The Green Mile, whatever. If they're Shawshank Redemption, if they're 3-hour movies, we watch them for 3 hours and we're never
Right.
bored.
Yeah.
But the Munsters will be, it's a comedy, and it'll be in the, where comedies generally land.
Right. Awesome. Well, looking very much forward to it. And about working with Rob Zombie, what do you think is it that makes him want to keep on working with you for so many times now?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it has anything to do with the paybacks, the weekly check stipend I write him, the fact that he's the executor of my will. No, none of that is true. Look, who knows? I mean, Roger, I love life. I love life. I love the opportunities. In the times that I worked with Rob, he sees that I don't say no to anything. He's like, "You want to come be in my movie?" Yes. Well, we're going to kill you in the first 4 minutes. Fine. You're going to get, eviscerated with an axe. Okay. You're going to be a pastor. Okay. And everything's just one step further,
Right.
making an actor say no. But I always say yes. And then when I work on shows, I mean, I don't know if it sounds, like look, I love being at work. I love being an actor. God gave me this gift. I love using it. I love utilizing it. So when I'm on a set, it's funny. There's an old story. How'd you get an actor to complain? Give him a job. So, like, I never complain. I love it. I love it. So I think I earned my way in his repertoire. I've earned my way up. And then, I think that, it seems like I was the right guy at the right moment in time to take on this, it's not easy stepping into these characters. What people are, they're so vicious on the internet, and I'm a Christian trying to love everybody. But when people say it sucks, it sucks, it sucks, and they don't know what it is, and they don't know, how do you know it sucks? And by the way, it's not going to suck. Like, number one, Rob Zombie is a visionary filmmaker. So if he puts his mind to creating something, maybe you don't agree with his vision, but his movies never suck.
Right.
Always entertaining. They're always visually stimulating. They're always cerebrally stimulating. So you're kind of a bit of a douche if you're a guy who burns a book before you read it. I don't get you. I'm a little, I don't know the point I was making, other than I don't like when people criticize it without seeing it. When they see it, they can criticize it. Oh, I know what I was saying. Do you mind if I finish that train?
No, yeah, for sure. Go ahead.
Well, so Daniel Phillips, great actor. Sherry Moon Zombie, great actress. Despite what everybody says, she's not terrible. I'm a writer and a director. I've written parts that I wanted her to play in movies. So that's how I feel. I feel she's a terrific actress.
Yeah.
She takes the knocks because she's married to the guy, but nobody moaned.
Exactly.
Yeah. Woody Allen put Mia Farrow in every movie. Nobody complained about that. At the same time, he was, let's not even get into what but anyway, that's 3 times I've tried to derail my conversation. We were hired to be Herman, Lily, and the Count, Grandpa. We were hired to be them. None of us were hired to be Fred Gwynn, Al Lewis, or Yvonne DiCarlo, because we can't be, and that's not what Rob wanted. So we are our own actors, and we are playing these characters, just like, let's say, in the James Franco Planet of the Apes, somebody else played Cornelius.
Right. Yeah.
It wasn't Roddy McDowell. It was different. It was still great, but it was different. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Caesar, whatever that character was. Caesar maybe was supposed to
I
be.
think so. The main ape.
Yeah, the main guy. Yeah. Andy Serkis was Caesar.
Right.
But it was Roddy McDowell, right?
Yes,
by the way,
I think so.
I know that because.
Whoa. Wow. We didn't even get a look at him.
It's so hard to. This is like patting your head and. Hold on, Caesar, where are you? Oh, hello, I'm Caesar. Anyway, this is
so cool.
I'm using my wife's computer because it's so much easier to do this.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm done with my soapbox tangent. You may have another question now that I've taken 3 hours to answer.
Well, I loved it. It was a good answer. Well, here are some more random or philosophical questions. Very simple one, but you can make it quite. You can get quite a long answer from this too. Depends on how hard you make it.
Let's not send your poor audience. I'll try to be
right. What makes you smile?
Everything makes me smile, except the bad news. That makes my heart break. But just being here with you today makes me smile.
Awesome.
My wife
certainly makes me smile.
Thank you. My family, the people of look, everybody wants you to believe that we all hate each other. That's not true. We don't hate each other. We have to remember that we have so much more in common than we don't have. You know how you want to stay smiling? Turn the news off. Don't watch the news. Don't watch any of it.
It's so funny that you mentioned that, because like literally today, I started following an account on Instagram. I'm not sure exactly what the ad is, but it was something like good news only, and it posts just good news.
Oh, geez, I thought of that years ago. Yeah, Yeah, just nice, happy
Yeah,
people, happy news. Let's talk about the times people help people, save lives. You know, the other thing is you've got to find people in your life who are generally positive thinking people. You know, waking up in the morning, you could choose to be miserable or you could choose to be happy. It's a choice. I don't believe it's anything but a choice. Maybe you have some emotional problem, get medication that'll help you remember that you could choose. You don't need a pill to make you choose. You need to just remember that you could choose to be happy. You
right.
could, you know, we pray a prayer, the Our Father, and we in the Our Father we say, let us forgive those who trespass against us, and that's the big thing that nobody ever does. You got to wake up the next morning in getting grace. Thematically, we talk about this: the sun rising, the new life, the new seasons of all this. Look, it's a brilliant thing that God made a day, this 24-hour period, and the sun goes away and it's dark and then the sun comes up. So when the sun comes up, that's the thing to remind you that whatever you were mad at yesterday, you can not be mad at today. Like he's made it easy for us to go, new day, new attitude, new personality, new approach. Whatever happened to me yesterday was yesterday. The great Meatloaf in that Jim, what not, I can't say Meatloaf wrote the lyrics. Jim Sharman, who's the guy who writes Meatloaf's lyrics? But Meatloaf, objects in the rear view mirror may appear closer than they are. Think of this. The stuff behind you, if you keep it present today, you miss the point. It's
Right.
past. You can't change it. You can't. It's happened. So you can't
Yeah.
keep thinking about it because it's already happened. What do you think about? You think about it happened. How do I react to that? And ultimately, we're not judged on our actions. We're judged on our reactions. Somebody
Yes.
something terrible to you, is your action to do something equally terrible? No. What's your reaction? If you're forgive them or accept it or just go, well, this is what this person is. What am I going to do about it? You just don't react in kind. Anyway, how's that for a philosophical answer?
That's very awesome. Um, but how do you feel about, people that live in a place where there's war or, a lot of poverty? How would they choose to be happy, Because I used to really think like, life is what you make of it. I used to kind of live by that statement and it works for me. But then I think about other people that might live in, for example, Ukraine right now.
Of course. So let's say that I think that's a very good question, and it kind of reduces the simplicity of my former answer.
Yeah.
Well, though is you know what you have is what you have. If you hope for more, um, of course you hope for peace. Of course we pray for peace. Everybody's heart is breaking over what's going on in that part of the world. Breaking, horrible. Um, the people wake up, and you could say, "I'm going to fight for what I believe in," and that might make you happy. You know. And when you talk about poverty, um, we see poverty through the lens of our own life. You got a house there. I've got a room filled with monster toys. Um, you know, uh, how can you affect that? Well, you affect it in a not in a global sense, which you can give money and certainly help in a global sense, but you could more importantly affect poverty in your sphere of influence. Um, I'm a big believer in you're not supposed to let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. That's a point that your gifting should remain maybe anonymous. I think that I can say, the Roebuck family takes a very hands-on approach to poverty when we see it, and we address it. I don't want to say in any specific way, but
Right.
but if I see someone suffering, it's this simple. You see somebody walking around without shoes, and you could just take off your shoes and give it to them, because you know why? You have other shoes at home. So people who are growing up impoverished, their existence, if compared to your existence, is futile. But compared to their existence, if this is in the world they live, I think you try to find the best of what you have. But the people who are most impoverished aren't watching. They don't have Zoom, and they don't have
Right.
and we're not going to hear this message. Prayer is important for all the people in the world. Prayer is huge. And if you feel like, it's not enough, put your money where your mouth is. Find legit organizations that are getting aid to people. You got to be careful anymore. I run a charity, and how much of that money goes to me? None of it. But when you give money to some of these charities, and we're certainly finding out here in America, there's charities that have taken in $80-90 million, and the people at the top are living in $6 million mansions. And you think, did that money go where it's supposed to go? So you got to be clear to make sure that if you want to affect change, you direct the money to a way that's most effective, which is sometimes simply giving the money to someone else,
Right.
not organization.
Yeah.
I remember once we were doing a show. I won't say what show, and I won't say who the actor was, but this actor who I knew had a house in Hawaii and a house in Los Angeles. We're saying, it's Friday. What are we doing this weekend? You talk. This guy goes, I'm going to march for the homeless in Washington, D.C. Boy, he wanted everyone to know it. I was like, you're going to march for the homeless? How's that going to help the homeless? We're going to bring attention to the homeless. I said, you have two houses. Do you ever let homeless live in your one house? You're in the other house? Because I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm not the smartest guy, but that would certainly help a few homeless people.
Yeah.
As opposed to marching. I knew another guy. He always wanted to. They were going to take out ads to stop world hunger. No, there's another way to stop world hunger. You buy food and you give it to hungry people. It's better than taking out an ad.
For sure. Awesome. Love that. Well, here's another question. What's your biggest pet peeve? You seem very content with life, and I love that. But is there anything that could irritate you?
Yeah, when people ask me if there's anything that would irritate me.
I'm sorry.
Hey, boys, how about this? I hate is such a strong word. Here's something I don't understand. When people with money or fame or power, and I'm talking about in our country, really every politician on either side, I wonder why politicians are all millionaires. Because the system was set up that they shouldn't be, but they're millionaires because they have insider trading information and they know what's going on, and they also take money and they take graft, and they're criminals. Celebrities, I think it's okay to advocate you. You know what I mean? I'm sitting here. I never talk really. I'm very middle of the road when it comes to politics. I trust none of them. But when it comes to something I'll advocate 100% of the time, I'll advocate God, and I'll advocate a godly experience. Based on my experience, has helped me be happy all the time. What is the thing? I believe in a greater plan. Okay. So I don't care for people of fame or celebrity dictating. It's one thing to say, I believe in this. It's another thing to say, you have to believe in this because I believe in it.
Right.
Because me without a high school education or a college education, I'm not a sociologist, I'm not a political scientist, I'm nothing, but I'm going to tell you, based on my lack of experience, knowledge, or understanding of the depths of this situation, I'm going to tell you how you have to feel. And I never do believe that. Do you know, I've been listening to Russell Brand lately. Do you know who that is?
I don't.
Actor, comedian. Let me throw this out there. Look him up. He's really blowing my mind. I didn't think there'd ever be a time when Russell Brand and I thought the same way. Boy, was I wrong. He's had a great he's had a great awakening of his soul. He's kicked whatever drugs or alcohol. I'm not really aware personally, but he's really speaks to how do we make the world better, and not tribally, but in some other manner. I'm very intrigued by his approach to the world.
Awesome.
So I suggest maybe people follow looking at it, just looking at it. Doesn't and I
I
it
will.
doesn't
I
matter,
certainly will.
where you fall politically, and I think that's his genius is he's speaking to humans, not political parties.
Right. Which a lot of people seem to do nowadays.
Yeah, I don't know why you want to choose sides on anything. There's only
Right.
there it's just funny to think your guy's better than their guy when if all the guys are lifelong politicians, why would you trust any of them?
Right. Awesome. And then here, final question. If your life was a movie, how would you want it to end?
With this conversation. No, wait, that was
That's funny.
Hey man, it's going to end the way God wants it to end. So it doesn't really matter how I want it to end. What matters is that I live every day to the fullest. So when the end comes, there is no regret. I've never been a guy with a bucket list. I don't recommend them. I recommend, instead of having a list of things you want to do one day, I recommend doing them whenever you can do them.
Right.
Get them in. What's funny is, Roger, I'm going to tell you something that you don't know, because
right.
Nobody tells people. Can I ask, is it public how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 19.
19. All right. You're a very smart kid. You're asking a lot of good questions. You figured out a way to get a huge celebrity like myself on your podcast. And by the way, let's tell people how hard it was. What did you do?
I sent out messages.
You asked.
I asked.
All you have to do was ask. So nothing changes if you don't ask, right? Nothing happens if you don't ask. So what I was saying was, if you live your life every day, so that does include waking up and trying to make the best, even if you're impoverished, even if your country's at war with another country. I mean, I'm not saying something, I don't want people to think I'm stupid. I'm saying, there's horrible situations, and we all experience horrible situations. Once the mother of my children said, I want a divorce. And I was like, what? Like, it was the most horrible situation I could think of because of my family. And that affected me deeply.
I bet.
Yeah. But things, I trusted in God, and man, did things work out. She's happy. My kids are happy. I'm happy. Because that partner moved on. The partner I found, Tammy, is my true partner. She produces the movies with me. She edits the movies with me. We laugh 24 hours a day. So
she set up the interview with me.
Yeah, she set up the interview. Because I'm incapable, because I'm so busy being happy that I can't Anyway, I screw it up because I get times wrong. Anyway, so if all of our lives were a movie, can I say one other thing interesting? Oh, I'm going to tell you something you don't know. I'm going to tell you something you don't know, because nobody told me. No one tells us when we're 19. We know that one day our grandparents are going to go, right?
Right.
And one day when they're older, hopefully, God willing, when they're older, our parents are going to go. And we know the old aunts and uncles and great aunts and uncles are going to go. But what we don't know, and this was a shock to me, is that at some point, people you love the most are going to die, not when they're 70, not when they're 80. They die when they're 50. They die when they're 53. They're 50. Sometimes they die in their 40s. And nobody tells you that. You think you have your close friends forever. But the best friend I ever had in my life was gone by the time he was 50, like a huge hole. So
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Don't anticipate that you'll have everyone forever. you better take full advantage of, your relationships and your love and your togetherness and your time. You have to live every day fully, beginning to end. And when you waste a day, you're really wasting an opportunity. I'm going to leave with one other thing. There's, if I say Betty Page, do you know who that is?
I don't.
Betty Page was a pinup model, and they made this movie about her starring Gretchen Mol. And in the movie, Gretchen Mol is beautiful, fantastic pinup model in the 50s, 40s, 50s, 40s, 50s. And she's terrific in the movie, and sometimes naked fully in the movie. I'm not a prude, she's a pretty girl. It's nice. I mean, they filmed it, so I'm watching it. And then I got on so I watched this great performance in this great movie by this great actress. And then I'm like, I got to learn more about Betty Page. So then I watched a biography of Betty Page, and I watch another then I watch this video of it. So I literally spend from 10 o'clock in the morning when I found the Gretchen Mol movie till 10 o'clock at night. I spent the entire day learning everything I could about Betty Page. So I have this image that one day, let's say I'm like 90, 99, and I'm like Nosferatu, and I'm,
Right.
holding on to life. And I'm in the, I'm in the hospice, and I say, God, just one more day. Can I have one more day? And then, God appears at the foot of your bed and he says, Dan, you know how much I love you. You know that I've always loved you. I've made so many of your dreams come true. And I know everything about you from morning till night, day in and day out. I know everything. And Dan, I want you to know that I knew that one day you were going to ask me for one more day at the end of your life. And I thought, Dan, I love you so much. You don't want one more day in this horrible state where your body doesn't work and you crap in your diaper. And who wants one more day of that? Danny, I loved you so much. I gave you one day. I put it right in the middle of your life so that you could fully enjoy it. I gave you one extra day and I shoved it right in the middle of your life. And Dan, you know what day that was? That was the day you sat in your room and watched Betty Page for 12 hours. So I do get that. Just like I think about that conversation in the future, I think now I only turn movies on later at night once I've accomplished something in the day that glorifies my friends, my family, my faith, my God, my country. I do something positive for as many hours as I can, and then I treat myself to a movie.
Good. So you have one Betty Page movie a day limit.
Yeah,
now.
no more bed. No. I've sacrificed one day of my life to Betty Page.
That's more than enough.
That's done. So now let's do better things for the world.
Awesome. Well, I feel like that's
a conversation. You're a heck of a young man, 19. I'm sure your family is very proud of you, what you're accomplishing here. Here's the thing. You're not a 19-year-old demanding change and demanding that people see the world. I mean, the first place, look, why you're 19, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
You know a lot, and I'm complimenting you, but wait till you're 45 and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know any of this stuff. Now I know it.
Right.
I wish I could have told my 19-year-old self this.
Exactly.
But look, be fearless. People your age, if you're listening, be fearless, but don't be assholes. Be fearless and gracious, and always, if you want to make a point, you better live that point. You want people to accept you. You better accept everyone else. You want anybody to think of you in a certain way. You better be open to thinking that them having a diverse point of view is as much value as your point of view.
Yeah.
That's my hope and prayer for 19 years old. My children are 26 and 24, and awesome. I'm very proud of both of them. and they're both very respectful people, and that's important. Be gracious, right?
Yes. Awesome. Well, I feel like that's the perfect way to send it off on.
All right,
Um,
you and all your listeners.
Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun. And to everybody watching, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. See ya.
All right, care. Thank you. Bye bye.